Now, can anyone see my screen or hear me?
Gone.
Okay, nice. So
Yes.
my mic was turned off before. Sorry about that. So let me just say what I was saying again. So last week you talked, we did functions. So we just rounded up on functions. Then, then we did a bit of modules in Python where we talked about the math modules, then the date time module as well. And we also mentioned how you can create your own module in Python. So for this week, we'll be doing classes and objects in Python. And if we have some time at then we'll do file handling. So let's just get started. So Python is an object-oriented programming language, also known as OOP. And OOP languages are languages whose programmers treated in the form of objects for easy accessibility of data. OOP helps to break your code structure, which assists easy debugging using the development and maintaining of the software. Then other programming languages aside Python that uses OOP are C++, Java, and C#. Okay, and now okay, and that's the same slide. So now we have some key concepts that you should take note of when dealing with objects and classes. So an object contains methods and properties. Then this object, so it's like if we're just trying to relate it, like so I can easily understand what is going on here. So if I say that an object can represent the faculties in the university, then the methods, so methods are actually just functions inside the class. So methods can be represented as department in each faculty. So if an object is a faculty, then a method of that object is a department inside that object. So methods have the def keyword. And an example of an inbuilt function method is the init. So whenever you create a class, you have to make use of this init function or this init method. So that is the first thing you use whenever you are creating a class in Python. And in properties, each method have properties and their parameters of values sent into an object. So now this is kind of a more practical, like something that we can actually see. Okay, let me see. So this right here is a class. Fine. Let me try to zoom in a bit. Yeah, this is a class. Yeah. So class name of the class is engineering. So classes always have to start with an uppercase. So class, so the first letter here must be a capital letter. Yeah, so your class name can be any name as long as it's not a keyword in Python. So now engineering in the class, the constructor. Now engineer, so it means this engineer here represents the object because we're calling the class here. So we're assigning the class to this variable here, engineer. So that's that engineer they represent the object. Now the name, the year, the ambition, the all properties of this class. Now so here the name method here, so methods so basically there are no functions inside this class, just properties here. So basically you can now call each of those properties from the class. That's what we did here. So engineer.name will give us this. Engineer.here, why is this moving? Engineer.here will give us the year. Engineer.admission will give us the ambition. Let me just quickly run that here. So let's see ECX and let's say one gives property of chairman Daniel, then I should give value of full name, then give another name of let's say let's say son. Yeah, simple class, very simple class. Without any method, so that without any function, just property. Yeah. So you can now call each property of that method of class. So that way we use the print function, then and in that say ECX say let's say full name. Full name. So this should give us engineering career expo. So if I should run that now, cannot be altered. And that's not the first that is created and it continues to be what you want. So I think about it. If one
Sorry, sir.
want
I, you are not clear. Your mic is it's cracking over
back,
here.
sorry, is it clear?
It,
So
no, it's not still clear. It's cracking.
how clear
Oh, it's not clear at all. At all. Sorry.
how clear
It's
Not
still
clear.
cracking. It's having.
yeah, I think it's at the I'm coming. Okay, is my microphone clear now? Is my microphone clear now? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody hearing me? Hello.
Yes. Can you?
Is it clear now? Is the microphone clear now? Or is it still cracking?
It is clear.
Okay. Okay, so I was talking about the init functions. I was saying that when you want to add methods to your classes, you have to first create an init function, and that is what will contain all the properties that you need for that class. So basically, if you are creating this ECX class now, all these properties that are listed here, they will be inside that init function. So that's how that part is saying. Then table is created and it should contain necessary properties that you want. Then the init function contains a statutory property called self, and the self are accessed and used in your code. So like the last time they were saying that instead of just putting chairman to be self, for example here under the init function to be self dot chairman, not just chairman. Let's just check the next. Let's check the code that you gave there. So class of unilag, then init function. So accepting name, department, and gender. So you can see that you use self dot name, equals to name, self dot department, then self dot gender. So under this init function now, the first parameter there is the self parameter. Then now have the one that we want to accept from the user. We want to save it. Now be self dot name of any variable that we want equals to that variable that we're accepting. Then yeah, so that then you should notice that this, let me just type it out first. Let me just comment this out. So now let's compare this to this. You see that the property there on this side we have a self dot equals to what we're accepting from the user. So this just sets it to this class. So basically when you call unilag dot this, it will just give you the value that you saved it to. Then okay, fresher. Okay, well, my name is this. Ah, I'm composing the call. I'm calling the call. Okay, so now this is a full class here. The you see how the methods here, but step by step. So now here we assign the parameter that we get from the user and we assign it to the class. So now when we are defining the method here, we add this self parameter. What this self parameter does for us is that you can now use what to save the init function here. So without this self parameter here, you won't be able to access what you saved here. So you won't be able to access everything that so you won't be able to access what you stored here. But without self parameter here, now special function, you can now access what you stored here. So basically, let's just use the class first. So unilag. Then when you want to accept parameters, you don't need to type anything for self. So you just type in for name, parameter, and gender. So this is just used by Python. So you don't need to type anything to satisfy the self. So name. Let's just use. Let's use ACL. Yeah. Now when we want to call, okay, so let's say we want to just use it now. So okay, what we can do is, let me see, let me do okay, just call the function. So basically you can still access. Let me spell it. Okay, yeah, it's not this. You can still access what you stored there. So let me see. Unilag dot this not too sure. Yeah, I just don't have something this. It should be like this. Yeah. So you can still access what you stored there. So as you can see, same that I'm going to enter in value for self, same that I'm going to access self again when you want to call now you stored in the class. So you just store the object, this class object in a variable. You can now access what you want from that object. And this function that is J. So just be using that dot For sure. Why are you printing directly from the function? So if you should run this now, you should get name. You will not get everything that is here. So yeah, ACL, hello, my name is ACL. I'm studying maths. I'm a male. So that is just the basics of working with classes. The next thing here is inheritance. So inheritance from the word is creating a class. And so we have two major things to discuss here. Parent class, the class that we want to inherit from, also called the base class. This is the class that the child class gets its attributes and methods. So basically, this is the class that I want to inherit from. And then the child class is the class that inherits from another class. So the class that take from the parent or from the base class. Then the init method is the default method that has to be created for your class in Python. You don't give an example here. So in the child class, when you create an init method to define properties, it actually overrides the parent class. So what it's basically saying there is that if say we create another class, let's say class, what's I going to create now? Um, let's say yeah, acknowledge from UNILAG class. So that if we should define this init method here again, let me give you the if you should do this, so when we inherit from the parent class, if you should now define this init function again, what's said in that that you won't be able to access what is stored here again. So that's what I try to explain there. So if after inheriting from a parent class, you now redefine a init to inherit the properties of the parent class you want to inherit from, you shouldn't do this. So that's what I was trying to tell you over there. Let me come back. Overriding means substituting or replacing the properties of the parent class with a child class. So know that the class name must be capitalized by the method. Now this is already our parent class that we have already. Then this is the child class. So class unique inherits from the UNILAG class already. Then if the child class, why parent class is UNILAG. So yeah, to take all the methods and all the attributes of the parent UNILAG. So you can easily use any of the methods in this class. Saying that you can use anything that we've studied here. You can use it in this UNILAG, this unique class, because we are inheriting from this UNILAG class. And so like all you can do, you can add a new method, not redefine the init method. But add another method to it. Now another example of how we do something like this is that let's say you're working on something like a social media app now. Then you have create a user class. User class will have username. So you have username, first name, last name, email and password, right? So that's your user class. But now you want to create user profile. So you cannot now go be creating another class and ask that now add this name, username and email again. What you do is that you inherit from the user class. Then you now add fields for the email. So you now add fields for images, for things like bio, for things like followers. So that's another example of when name tags is very important. So just inherit from a class that has some attribute that you already need or you want to use. So let's just follow the example over here. So we're inheriting from UNILAG class, and the new class we want to add a method for population. Okay, did you finish this? Ok, yes, so this is it. Yes, yeah, I finished the nation. Okay, I didn't write the code completely, so let me just go through it very well. Missed something here. Okay, let me use this. Sorry.
Someone needs at the log. Could you tell him that someone is at the log?
Sorry. What did you say? Oh, sorry, please. I didn't know what you said. Hello. Okay. Let's say what you should do. Just will be doing this. Let me check. Let's just try something here. If I do Unilage here, equals to let's see, taking big dogs. Let's see. I found over 10 years that it is also asking us for these three parameters from our Unilag class. So when we inherit a class, also when we inherit parameters, we also have to fill it in when we want to use the class. So that would be, let me give myself. Let's see. Just let's run this. Then okay. We should even be able to add something from here. Let's see. Let's add the number here. As you can see, after everything from the UNILAG class, I think that it still wants, so it still sends this to. So it still runs this code as in, it still prints out. Okay, this is from UNILAG.name. So then this prints out, I study mathematics. Okay, yeah. So when you call this music function, you first run this. So it's run my name is so I study maths, I am male. Everything here. So now when I print unizik.name here now, I'm gonna get the name that I saved to it here. Let me just let's do this. Okay, let me just find this. So yeah, print unizik.name. So it's printing the name for unizik. It's printing biomedical engineering, then I'm a female. So you're making use of the methods from here. So making use of this special method and it is storing it here with this our init function here. So that is how that can be used. Then you can also now add something extra to it here. If you see want to do something like let me see, music composition and we give the number of 75. Let's add, let's see, it's 12. So let me comment this out. What I want to see is that, so now what I was looking out for is that even in this our child class, you can use what we inherited from the parent class in another function in this class that's not in this class. So basically, I'm using this pattern variable from our parent class in another function in our child class. So I should run the code now. We get something. I should get this. I should get there 75 students in biomedical engineering department. That is, as 75 students in biomedical engineering department. So this is how inheritance works. So we can inherit every sort of our parent class. You can now use it in specific methods in our child's class. So now we don't have to actually rewrite everything that we wrote here. So this makes our code more reusable. So it makes it easy to break our code into specific parts that we can reuse later on. In the same way now, let's see that This was the user class that had name, username, email, and password. If we wanted to create a profile class, we just inherit from that user class. They now add fields for image, well, an image here, now another field for um bio and probably followers, and then maybe website or portfolio. So that is how inheritance works. It helps us save and makes our code a lot more usable. Never have to write down everything again, or have to write everything into one particular class. So this was that clear because I know that classes can be a bit confusing. Was that clear or should I go over it again?
Please go over it again.
Okay, is it just the whole class or like is there a part I didn't get? Or I should just go over the whole example again?
Please over the whole
Uh,
thing. There was power failure here, so it logged me out for a part of it.
okay. Well, let me just go through this example again. So I was talking about inheritance. I think that you can let's say that you can create two classes. Let's call the first one our parent class. Yeah, so if you call this our parent class, you can now create another class that inherits from that parent class. So now when something inherits from something, basically, I was saying that we are taking properties of this class and I'm able to use it here. For example, this is a class, it has properties, it has a method. What I say that you can now create another class that uses everything that we wrote here. So now in this unique class, we don't have to now rewrite everything that we wrote before. We can just inherit it and now use it. When we even use it, can I even add another method to it to make it more specific? So now that's that we explained this here with this. So we inherited from ECX class. So that here we look at the parameters that we will need to accept, name, particular and gender. We mentioned that when you are inheriting from another class, you should not rewrite this init function again. Because what that will do is that will override the initial init function from the parent class. So if you want to write it, it means that you don't want to use the parameters from the parent class, and if that's what you want to do, then there's no point in everything. It's better that you just create another class from scratch. But if you want to inherit, then we want to keep this as it is. Then after that, you can now inherit. So you can even add another method to that class. So for example, now let me clear this out. Let me on. Let me just leave this one first. So now this is the unique class. I'm putting here, I'm putting a name, a department, and a gender, even though we didn't define it here. That is because in the class that we're inheriting from, it's already defined it for us. So when we're using it in our child class, we still have to input those parameters here. Now, so we store it, so we now save this object in a variable called Unix. So we can start access the name, and it will give us the name. So it will give us ACL no, it will give us ABB. So it uses the same method, but it doesn't get but it's not necessarily use the same it's not necessarily use the same data that was stored previously. Let's run it again now. We should get music.name. Same we got ACL here. That gives us ABB here. Now if you should use the special function from the method, okay, from the UNILAG methods, now you can still use this function even in our Unisic class here. That would be so that should print out. Hello, my name is Ibubi. I study biomedical engineering and I am a female. So exactly that. So even though we didn't write it here, we are inheriting it from in that class and we can now use that method that in that class. And then when we name, we can now add other methods like what it is here. So we added the population method. So this method accepts the value of the number. So the number of people in that department. Let me just say number of students. I can now use it here. So if you should run, okay, well, I've already done that. Click on this one. So if you should run unizik dot population, so now we're accessing a population method. Here we access the special method that we already wrote in our parent class. Now we're accessing the population method that we wrote in this unizik class. So we still access the same, just unizik dot the method that we want to use. So method also function, as you can see. This is still a function. Yes. But here when in the class it is called the method. So now this method is accepting number of students, that is an integer most likely. When we want to get there are some of the 5 students in medical engineering. So that is just the basics of how inheritance works in classes. It was actually
Yes, it's clear.
okay, that is nice. So this process. So yeah, we're just saying that we can override it. So and when you try to call the method from the previous class, it won't work because you are overriding the class here. So because you are overriding the init function already. That way we're just explaining these 2 slides. So rather than attribute error because the init function of unizik class has overridden the unilag class. That's what we're explaining here. So unless you want to change the parameters for your class, that is the reason why you should override the init class for the parent class. Sorry, the init function for the parent class. But if they need for you, but personally, if they need for you to override the init method, then you're better off just writing a new class instead of inheriting a previous class. I say this because when you change the okay, let me go back here. It depends actually, but when you just want to change something here now, let me copy this stuff now. If I want to override it here now, the only thing here that will make sense for us to do is to add another something. So yeah, instead of okay, let me explain this. Why that you shouldn't always override your class your init function is because if let's say now normally all the parameters here they will be used by the methods over here. So if that you override this function and all the methods here are not methods that are used, so if you override your init function and all the parameters here are not or will not used in this methods here, then that class will be useless because you'll not be able to use any of the methods. So basically, if selecting that you inherit, selecting that you are copying this into this unity class, but now you are changing everything. But you know that our special method is using those parameters. So you should not change it to something else. This method will be completely useless. So if that is the case, so if the case is that you want to change everything, it's better that you just create a new class from scratch. But there are cases where inheriting and adding something will make sense. For example, now, if I decide to even add this number of students directly to the class, let's say if you can decide to add it like this, and now do a self dot number of students equals to this. Instead of us having to associate it inside this method there, we can just get it directly from the class. Now what I've done in that, yes, we have already our init function, but at the same time, we have still made it usable. And it's still usable because we did not delete anything from here. What we did was to simply add a new parameter here. So the way it is, we can still use our methods from the parent class, and we can now use a new method that makes use of a new parameter that we added here. Now this way, if we should still run our, if we save it and we should run our code, it will still work. It will still work here. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to have added here. So what they're saying is not added number of students to our parameters. I'm supposed to actually fill the value in here. And I'm not supposed to fill anything. Sorry. Now this is supposed to be empty because it doesn't have a parameter right now. Let me run that again. So it still works. There are 75 students in biomedical engineering department. Still working fine. If I should call this function from our parent class and run it, should still get the same thing that we got before. So it works. Hello, my name is Ebubi. I told you this. I'm a female. But now, if you are right and if you remove something from here, let's say that you remove this now. If you remove this and you remove this completely, let's say I remove. Oh, okay. Let's say I'm removing this. Now, this won't work because we're not accepting any department, but our social method is it needs that department variable here. So let's where is it again? Open a department. Let me remove this. What's happening is that we have an attribute error because when we want to use that method, see attribute error, music has no attribute department. So that what happens when you change something here. So when you inherit a class, yeah, when you inherit a class and you need to add something, so you can always add to your init function and it will not affect your method from the class you are inheriting from. But if you remove something from that init method, then you run into issues when you want to use a method from your parent class. That's something that you should just keep in mind. So when you let's say if you're inheriting something, it's best to just add a parameter to the existing parameters. We just did it now. So let me just control this. Yeah. So it's best to just do it this way. So you can just copy it out. So they can now add a new parameter to it. So this way, the code they have written before, so the code that you're inheriting from it won't be fixed. You won't run into errors. So now we're able to now use our classes better. For example of using classes, let's say that we are using something like let me close this. Let me say user profile LPY. Let's say I create a user class now. User and def init and takes in username, it takes in email, takes in let's say password one password. Then let me see. We have dot username equals to be equals to email and dot equals to Yes, we can. Yes, send the user email is still with. And now, let's say in our profile class, mm, okay, let's see. Okay, me and everything. Okay, profile. Now that's it. Image, bio, out again. I'm going to say, shell dot bio, bio, and leave your name from this one first. I should be user here. The shelf is yes, I want to know. Let me see. So let me just quickly finish this up. So return um let me see. Let me just make it down first. Let me create it again. So, of it's these are subclasses. This is the parent class here, and this is the child class over here. So now the parent class takes the username, email, and two passwords. And you can and it has a method where you can return usernames, you can return user, so you can return the person username, email is email, and then you can now extend self, you can inherit from user class and create a new class called profile. Now you can now add an image, a bio, and a portfolio for that user. So yeah, I'm returning his name, his username, sorry, his email, and what now added from this new child class. So first, let me see. I first have to add something to the user. Let's say user here equals to say user one equals to username say username Now I can hear you. Just a random then password one and password two. Now how to do that? How to put that on camera? Let me see. User one profile. Profile equals to profile. So it's not looking any parameters. Yeah, it is taking parameters, sorry. The search is to ABB, yeah. ABB at gmail.com. That is the password. Flash screen. Flash screen count. Then what's it doing again? Oh, this first. So yeah, the user class works as it should. Yeah. So we're accessing the user from there. Now for the profile here. You can do here. You can do here. You can make it even more reachable. So let's call this. So let us completely inherit from the parent module. So let's call this user one dot user name. Yeah, so let's completely inherit from the user class. This. So let's write a very extensive example. Let's go to number 5. Now what you notice here is that I use this to create the user class for the user. Now what I'm doing is that I'm extending, so instead of typing another person's name, I'm just using data from this user class here, and I'm using it inside this profile class. So I'm basically inheriting from this class. When I want it, I should get so I click on this area again. And I can now add these values to it by using user one profile. Nice. Let's see. Yeah. Let's go with this. now after us editing the values from our user class, we can now code it. So we can now code our profile method from this profile class. No, we haven't added the sorry. We need to add something first. Let me see. So down profile. So let's add image. Let's see. Let's call this okay. Let's see. This is the now you won't get any you won't get any output from this because we are just storing parameters into this method here. So now what will happen is that when we print this out, we get username and email which are from the parent class. I will now get image, value, and portfolio which are from this method that we added in this new child class. So if I should run this now, yep. So let's ignore this first place. So we print this, so that is the first line. Then print this again, STSL. So now profile dot update. Yeah. So this returns nothing. Yeah. But now we now print this. It prints everything. It prints it prints our like chemistry. It says print user profile dot profile, and here we are putting our username, and we are putting our email instead of gmail.com. We are printing an image which is just see that is string for now. Okay, value this and portfolio this. So this is a bit more extensive example of what we can use to actually an object. Now inheritance works. So I'm just inheriting from another, and I'm adding another method with other details about that user. This profile update method. So yeah, so this is just outfit. So yeah, I'm not doing anything. So now I have more detailed information about that user through this profile class. So do you guys get that? Or let me go right again. Or then because I don't clear at all. Hello. Hello, can you guys hear me? Listen. Can you guys hear me? Do you guys what I was saying this wrong? You can hear me? Okay, did you get the explanation on that example, that user profile example I just did now? Hello? Did you get that example? Should I explain it again? Like what I just went through now, the user and the profile class. Should I go over it again?
Yes, please.
Which part exactly wasn't clear to you? So which part was in place? I thought I'll explain it again.
Actually, you got disconnected when you started.
How are you? It's a
So
laptop.
oh,
It's
how was
about
it?
to
I wasn't really able to follow. Okay.
360.
Ah. So I created two classes. User class to factors. So I was trying to explain how we transfer. I did concrete example. So yeah, this class is class. So the parent class. It's and parameters are username, email, password and password. So it's we are saving. So I did that with the init function. Yeah, created a method. We call it data method.
Sorry,
Sorry.
there's noise in your background.
Yeah, I can also screen. Okay, then my background. Created a class. This class is called the parent class, and this is my data. Like now, on this function, I all the parameters for this use password and password. So now I to this method here. So it returns the user email this. Then in the profile class, I have how to redefine the init function. So I put the init so without because I'm basically adding more data about the user in this method. So it's not doing anything, just saves those data about the user to the class. And now this method now returns username and it's just going to this program portfolio which is from this class, which is from this method that has been created just here. So now shall I since I told you so the username of the record, email of this, and then that the password, personal password too. So I print that out. Now you had this first so then now I can now store this profile object into this query. I'm going to that one profile. Now let's start putting out the choose to make my code more more usable. So that's just for the game. So too many of them. I use the properties from our parents. Yes, post directing outside of username, email, password. So I use username dot common dot username, their own dot email, their own dot password, their own dot password. So now here I'm putting out the username again. So that also gives me a cell which is correct. Now yeah, I'm updating so I can basically I'm adding more data about the user to this profile. And with this method there, the profile update, I can see I'm not doing anything. When I run is nothing here is returned. But profile, yeah, I'm telling username and email. User and image, value and the image here. So I just put this screen there to the value and the portfolio. This case now, if I just need the user's username and email, then I can just class and now put the profile class because this one goes to the user class identifier. What is that? So that's what in Python. There we can before you stop it out. So did you get that? You guys get that? I think that you guys will have that. I will back on the group chat. It's kind of practice for you guys. So this yeah, your profile. But you continue your username, password, however you you guys will ask this.
So sorry, we have not been able to hear you for a while now.
Hello. Ah, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Hello. About okay.
Can't hear
Yes,
you
Chris.
again. Hear you
It's like
again.
the thing is scratching and like a radio-ish stuff.
I was asking if you have any questions about the class today.
Not really. We'll go over it, and if there are questions, just hit you up.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You can actually practice questions. So you just create a class. I just put down
Can't hear what you're saying.
translate def as like to the now that means you can just accept one parameter. So that would be user different. Sorry. Now in that add method, you can make it accept a parameter, and that parameter should be the username of that friend. So when you use this method, so this was added to a list. And now similarly, when you create a list method, you can now call that list. So now this method will also accept somebody's username. So when you need to scroll, it's now check the list and now remove this person's username from that list. So that is a simple way of implementing this. So again, I can just go. So again, I can just try to attempt this after the class. Yeah, I think this is your assignment. Yeah. So, but try this one first. Try this one first before you try the second one. So this is relatively very and might be a bit tasking. But try this one first. If I get this question on, then you should be able to do this before the next class. So that'll be all for today's class. So thank you guys for joining and have a nice weekend.
Thank you so much.
Same to you.